We're all muted now, Paul.
All right. Okay.
I'll have to wave at you. Okay, so we'll start feet together, turning toes out, followed by heels. So just looking down at your feet, making sure they're tracking straight and parallel towards, tracking straight and parallel to each other. Soft through the knees, hips facing forward, shoulders round and down, and ears over the shoulders. Placing the hands on the hips, and we're just going to rock that pelvis forward and back. So imagine you're sloshing the water out the back and out the front, and feeling the flattening and the arching of that lumbar spine. So finding the halfway point between the two, nice neutral spine position. Thinking about that deep lateral breathing. So a nice deep breath in through the nose. Feel the rib cage expanding, and out through the mouth, feeling that rib cage drawing together. Again, nice deep breath in through the nose, keeping the shoulders down the back, and out through the mouth again. So while we continue with the deep lateral breathing, I want you to imagine that belt around your waist, drawing the sides towards each other and pulling the belly button back towards the spine. And at the same time, feel those pelvic floor muscles like a lift coming up. 1, 2, 3. So tightness through the whole abdominal core region, but you can keep with that deep lateral breathing without it being restricted. So relaxing the arms down by your side, and we'll start with those nice forward shoulder rolls. Going through the full range of movement there, just releasing any tightness in those shoulders. One more time forward, and then we're going to reverse up to the ears, over the mountain, and down the other side. Good. Squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back. One more time, and then we're relaxing those shoulders down the back, arms by your side, and we're locking those shoulders down. We're floating the arms out to the side, and then reaching them up to the ceiling. We're going to hold it here. Shrug the shoulders up to your ears, and then draw the shoulder blades down the back. Good. One more time. In breath, shrug the shoulders up to your ears. On the out breath, draw the shoulders down the back. Push the air away as you bring the arms back down to your side. Good. One more time. In breath, floating the arms up to the ceiling, locking the shoulders down your back. Then we're going to bring the hands up, down in front of you to shoulder height, and holding them here. Pushing your left hip forward, we're going to take the left arm back, follow the hand with the head into a rotation, but don't let the hip follow you. In breath to center. Good. Shoulders down the back, pushing the right hip forward. Take the right arm back, follow the hand with the head. And in breath to center, back up again. One more time to each side. Keep the knees soft. Push the left hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. And center to the right. Pushing that right hip forward. And back to the center again. Good. So we're going to bend the left arm. Take the right elbow into the crook of the left arm. Twist your hands around. Now, if you can hold the hands, great. Otherwise, if you can just grab a wrist. We're going to lift the elbows up towards the ceiling, but at the same time, we're drawing the shoulders down the back. Now, you should feel a good pull there through the shoulders, maybe even the upper arm. Good, and we're coming out. We're going to swap. So left elbow into the crook of the right arm. Wrap the arms around. Good. Lift the hands up to the ceiling, at the same time drawing the shoulders down the back. And keep lifting the hands, drawing the shoulders down. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the arms and shake them off. Good. Okay, we're going to stretch out the neck. So we're going to drop left ear to left shoulder. And then we're dropping the chin to the chest, rubbing the chin along the front of the chest. Keep those shoulder blades squeezed together. So don't drop forward with the shoulders. ending with right ear over right shoulder, and then chin to chest. Take your time. Feel that stretch through the back of the neck. Left ear over left shoulder. We're going to do one more time to each side, very slow. Again, try not to lean forward with the upper body. Good. And the last time to the other side. Good. And coming back up to the center and just roll the shoulders down. We're going to float the arms back up to the ceiling again. We're going to reach up with that left arm. Take it wide. As we do, we're going to come over into a side bend, reaching that right arm up over the top. Good. That's it. Back up to the center again. Reach the right arm up, out to the side, over into a right side bend, and reaching over with that left hand. Good. And coming back to the center, and again just loosening the shoulders off. So we're coming into the roll down, so standing at the end of the mat. So we're going to draw the belly button to spine, soft through the knees. Deep breath in through the nose. As you breathe out, we're dropping chin to chest, and then we're slowly peeling that vertebra off the wall behind you. Arms hanging, head hanging. Feeling the articulation through each vertebra joint as you roll down to the toes. Let the head hang, shoulders down your back. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're scooping belly button to spine, and we're rounding back up. Take your time, stacking the spine one vertebra at a time. As we come up to standing and roll the shoulders back. Good. One more time. Deep breath in. Draw the belly button to spine. As we breathe out, chin to chest. And again, peeling that vertebra. A string of pearls off the imaginary wall behind you. Take your time, especially through that lumbar spine, all the way to the toes. This time we're going to hook the fingers under the toes or flat onto the floor. Head hanging, shoulders down the back. Straightening through the right knee for 4, 3, 2, 1. And soften through the left knee for 4, 3, 2, 1. And soften. Straightening through both knees. Head hanging, keep the shoulders down your back. Feel that lovely stretch up through the calves and hamstrings. And then we're going to soften the knees, walk the hands forward. If you need to adjust your camera, adjust it now. And we're coming down onto all fours. So we're going to do a bit of work on all fours. Obviously, you can come onto forearms. The nice thing about using the ball is it takes the weight off the wrist. So obviously, we're going to be using the ball for this next week. Make sure the knees are underneath hips, wrists under shoulders, belly button drawn to the spine. We're going to go into our cat stretch. So on the in breath, we're rounding the thoracic back up towards the ceiling, pulling those shoulders away from your spine. On the out breath, we're lengthening tail and crown. Keep the core engaged as we feed on through into that back extension. Take the eyes to the ceiling. In breath, rounding thoracic back up to the ceiling. On the out breath, lengthen tail and crown. Feed on through into that back extension. Good. One more time. In breath, rounding thoracic back up to the ceiling. On the out breath, lengthen tail and crown. Feet on into that back extension, and we're just going to flex the back off. One more time, round up to the ceiling and coming back to your neutral spine position. Good. So sliding the left leg back, tuck that left toe underneath you, drop the hip down, push back through the hands and take the heel to the floor. Good. Again, if you suffer with wrist, come onto your forearms for this one. I'm holding that for 10, 9, 8, feeling that lovely stretch up through the calves. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slide that left knee in. Good. So sliding the right leg back, tuck the right toe underneath you, push back through the hands, and we're holding that stretch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sliding that right knee in. Brilliant. So into the hip drops, we're going to drop both hips to the right, looking over your left shoulder at your feet. In breath to center, and then over to the other side. So hips to the left, looking over your right shoulder. We're going to do 3 times to each side. Nice and slow, stretching off through the back. Again, if wrists are an issue, come onto your forearms with this. You might not be able to turn the head so much, but you can certainly drop your hips and loosen off that back. Good. So last time to each side. Good. And coming back to the center, we're just going to sit back on our heels for a sec and give our wrists. If it's not comfortable to sit on your heels, just stay up and walk your hands forward. So keep the glutes up, walk the hands forward. Okay. So we're rounding back up, we're coming onto all fours again. And we're working with leg raises here. So we're going to slide that left leg back again. Watch that left hip hitching up. We want to keep the pelvis level. We're lengthening back. We're reaching back. We're trying to hit the light switch with the toe as we lift that leg up. Flex through the foot. Back to pointing and slide that left knee back in. Trying not to shift the weight from one side to the other. We're sliding the right leg back. As you lift, you're reaching back to touch the wall behind you. Flex through the foot, point through the toe, and slide that right knee back in. Good. Left leg sliding back. Now we're going to slide the right hand forward as well. So leg and arm raise. We're taking it up, reaching the leg back, flex through the foot. Point through the toe, lower back down, and sliding back in. Good. Right leg back, left arm forward, reaching forward and back. Good. Flex through the foot. Don't lose your neutral spine. Nice and strong. Pointing, lower, and slide back down. One more time to each side. Left leg back, right hand forward. Reaching forward and back, flex through the foot, point through the toe, lower, and sliding in. Just remember, keep the back of the head in line with the spine as we go. Right leg back, left arm forward, flex, and point, lower back down, slide that knee back in. We're going to sit back on those heels. Take the knees wider apart, so your knees are a little bit wider. Walk the hands forward. Again, if that's not comfortable, you can stay slightly lifted with the hips away from the heels. We're going to walk the hands round to the left, reaching that right arm away from you. So you're opening up through that right side. Good. Back to the center and then over to the right side, reaching that left arm away from you. Feeling that lovely opening all up through that left side. Back to the center, and then imagine that ball inflating underneath you as you're rounding back up, stacking that spine, coming up to sitting. We're sitting on the mat, legs out in a V. Good. So this is one of the ones we probably stiffened up a bit with lower back and through our inner thighs, but don't worry, we'll go by the end of the turn, we'll have stretched it out nicely. Crown of the head to the ceiling, shoulders down the back. So we're going to round down to the floor, and then we're going to walk the hands forward. So we're lengthening and flattening through the back. You want to get the back as flat as possible. So try not to stay rounded. Draw the shoulders down the back. Good. Chin to chest, rounding back up. And we're stacking that spine. Good. Slight flexion through the toes. One more time. Chin to chest. We're rounding down. Walk the hands forward. Shoulders down the back and feeling that lovely stretch through that inner thigh. Good. Chin to chest. And we're rounding back up again. We're going to place left hand behind your back. Crown of the head to the ceiling. We're going to run the right hand down the left inside of the leg, and we're bending over that left leg. Good. So the chest goes over the knee of the left leg. That's it. Good. Coming back up, we're changing hands, right hand behind the back, left hand runs down the inside of the right leg, and we're taking the chest over the right knee. Good stretch. Good. And we're coming back up. We're going to do one more time to each side. Left hand behind the back, right hand running down that inside, chest over the left knee. Coming back up to sitting, swapping hands. Good. It doesn't matter how low you get over the knee. It's just enjoying and breathing through that stretch. And coming back up to sitting again. Good. So we're going to come to side lying. If we start on our right side, actually, I did mean to say, if you wanted to have a pillow, we're going to come down to lying on our right side in a bit. So if you want a pillow handy, maybe now's a good time to grab it. So while everyone's doing that, just to say, make sure the elbows underneath the shoulder, knees and feet are stacked, and the waist is lifted up away from the mat. So we're not in a nice sun lounger. We're keeping that little flame burning underneath the waist, and take that top arm up to the ceiling. So on the in-breath, we're pushing that left hip forward as we drop the left hand back, following the hand with the head. On the out-breath, we're bringing the arm round, palm down, feeding through the gap, and we're creeping the hands away from us. Good. In breath, arm to the ceiling, push that top hip forward, follow the hand with the head. On the out breath, take the arm up to the ceiling as we bring it round, palm down, feed through the gap, and we're creeping the fingers away, just enjoying that lovely stretch. In breath, arm to the ceiling, push that top hip forward, follow the hand with the head. On the out breath, we're bringing the arm round, palm down, feeding through the gap, creeping those fingers away. Arm back up to the ceiling and relax it down on top of your thigh. So we're coming to lying down. So we're going to take that right arm straight out. So we're resting our head on it. Now here, if you want to use a pillow, by all means, have a pillow between your arm and your ear. The knees are bent and knees and feet are stacked. Make sure the hips are stacked as well. We don't want to be dropping back or forward with the hips, and place the hand on top of the hip. So keeping the feet glued together and squeezing that glute, we're going to take the knee up towards the ceiling. But again, don't lose the stacking. So we're keeping those hips stacked and lower back down again. Good. On the out breath, squeezing through the glute, knee to the ceiling. We're pulsing it here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep squeezing the glute. Last one, and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, we're taking knee and ankle up to the ceiling. Again, firing up those glutes. Pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, squeezing those glutes. We take the knee and ankle up to the ceiling and pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. Last one, squeezing the glutes, knee and ankle up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Brilliant. We're lengthening both legs away from you, bringing the legs slightly in front of the midline, keeping the hips stacked. We're pointing through the top toe. Take the leg up towards the ceiling, flex, lengthen the hip away from you as you lower the leg back down. Good. Pointing through the toe, take the leg up, flex, lift the lower waist up off the mat as you lower. Good. For 6, up, flex, and lower. Good. Pointing through the toe to come up for 5, flex, lengthen, and lower. Pointing to come up for 4, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Good. For 3, pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower. Good. 2 more, pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower. Last one, pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Brilliant. We're going to bend the knee, catch hold of the ankle if you can. Heel to the glutes. Watch your neutral spine here. Just tuck your tailbone underneath, and then we're sliding the knee back until you feel a nice stretch through the front of that thigh, through your quad there. Good. And we're just holding this. 8, 7, 6. Keep increasing the stretch. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let that leg go and give it a shake off. Brilliant. So we're turning on to our other side, starting up on our elbow. Knees are bent, hips stacked, elbow underneath the shoulder. Again, lifting that waist up away from the mat. Taking the top arm up towards the ceiling. So on the in-breath, we're pushing that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. On the out-breath, we're bringing the arm round, palm down, feet through the gap and creeping those fingers away. Just enjoying that lovely rotational stretch. Good. In-breath, arms to the ceiling. Push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. Feel that opening through the chest. On the out breath, bring the arm round, palm down, feet through the gap, and creeping those fingers away. Good. Last time on the in-breath, arm to the ceiling. Push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. On the out breath, we're bringing the arm round, palm down, feet through the gap. We're going to hold this stretch. 3, 2, 1. Take the arm back up to the ceiling and relaxing on the thigh. Brilliant. So coming down to lying on your left arm. Again, you can use the pillow. Keeping the knees stacked, hips stay stacked. Place your hand on top of the hip. So knees are bent still. Squeezing that glute, keeping the feet together. We're taking the knee to the ceiling and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, squeeze that right glute as we take the knee to the ceiling. We're pulsing it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, squeeze that glute. We're going to take the knee and ankle up towards the ceiling here, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So we're keeping the knee bent. 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. Squeezing through the glute. We're taking the knee and ankle up towards the ceiling, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. Last one, squeezing that right glute. We're taking the knee and ankle up towards the ceiling, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Excellent. So lengthening both legs away from you, bringing them slightly in front of the midline, keeping the hips stacked. We're pointing through the toe, take the leg up towards the ceiling, flex, lengthen that hip away to lower. Good. Pointing to come up, flex, lift the waist away from the mat as you lower back down. Good. Pointing to come up for 6, flex, lengthen, and lower. Good. Pointing to come up for 5, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Pointing to come up for 4, flex, lengthen, and lower. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. 2 more. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen that top line, and lower. Last one. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Brilliant. Bend the knee, catch hold of the right ankle, heel to the glutes. Slide the knee back till you start to feel a nice pull through the front of the thigh. If you've got any pinching in your lower back, just tuck that tailbone underneath you. Think of flattening through that lower back. And we're holding that for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep increasing that stretch if you can as the muscle eases. 2, 1, and lengthen that leg off. Brilliant. So we're rolling onto our backs now. Knees are bent. Knees and feet are hip width apart. Heel about 1.5 hand length away from your glutes. We're just going to have a little play with finding our neutral spine position. So on the in breath, we're rolling the pelvis forward. As we do that, we're taking the chin up towards the ceiling. On the out breath, we're flattening through the lumbar spine. And as we do that, we're sliding the chin towards the chest. Good. In breath, rolling the pelvis forward, taking the chin up towards the ceiling. On the out breath, flattening through the lumbar spine and taking the chin towards the chest, keeping the length through the back of the neck, floating the right and left arm up towards the ceiling and shoulders down your back, palms facing each other. On the in breath, we're floating the arms out to the side. Take the back of the hands onto the floor. I want you to just relax in this position for a minute, dropping the shoulders down towards the floor. Think of keeping that rib cage down as well. And then on the next out breath, we're floating the arms back up to the ceiling again. Good. So one more time. On the in breath, float the back of the hands down towards the floor. Feel the opening of the chest. Reach the hands away from you. And on the out breath, floating the arms back up to the ceiling again. Palms facing away from you. We're taking right arm up above the head onto the floor, left hand down to your feet on the floor. So windmill arms, we're taking both arms out to the side, bringing the left arm up above the head, right hand down, and float both back up to the ceiling again. Good. Left arm up above the head, right hand down. keeping the fingers on the floor. We're bringing both arms out to the side, ending with right arm up, left arm down, and floating back up to the ceiling again. Good. Keeping the palms facing away from you. We're dropping the elbows down to the floor at shoulder height. Take the back of the hands onto the floor. Don't force it. If your hands aren't on the floor, just do that movement again where you bend the arms and back up to the ceiling. If your back of the hands are on the floor, keep the back of the hands on the floor as we slide the hands up towards the wall behind you, and then float the arms back up to the ceiling again. Good. So on the in breath, we're dropping the elbows down to shoulder height. Take the back of the hands down towards the floor, keeping the rib cage down. If the hands are on the floor, keep the back of the hands on the floor as you slide the hands back to reach the wall behind you, and float the arms back up to the ceiling again. So relaxing the arms down by your side, we're going to come into the shoulder bridge position. So deep breath in, drawing the belly button to spine. As we breathe out, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat, peeling the vertebra one at a time as we come up into the shoulder bridge position. Keep the hips lifted, rib cage down. Hold for an in breath, and as you breathe out, we're going to come back down one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up until the end. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're curling that pelvis. Take your time, feeling the articulation through that vertebra joint. Hips lifted, rib cage down. We're going to work with our glute squeezes here. So we're going to drop 2 centimeters and squeezing back up. Good. For 9 and squeeze. 8, 7, 6. Really squeezing those glutes to lift back up. 4, 3, 2. Last one, and we're coming back down one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up to the end. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're coming up one more time, curling that pelvis up. Keep the sliding the vertebra one at a time as we come up. Push the hips up, but keep the rib cage down. Now we're going to come down to the floor in a straight line. So we're not articulating. We're going to come down to the floor and squeezing back up again. Good. For 8 and squeezing back up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Make sure the rib cage stays down. 2. Last one. Keeping those hips up, and then we're coming back down. One vertebra at a time. Keep the pelvis curled up to the end. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of burning through those glutes. Hug those knees into your chest, and we're just loosening that back off a little bit. Good. Okay. So we're going to close the knees and feet together. Arms out to the side, palms to the ceiling. And so we're going to drop both knees to the right, keep the feet stacked. The head is going to go to the left. Good. Now, if you're struggling to get the knees down towards the floor, I just want you to hold this position, just nice deep breaths, trying to get those knees to relax onto the floor. Any discomfort in the pec, so if you're feeling it through that right pec, if it's too uncomfortable, place the right hand onto the shoulder just to take that stretch out slightly. Keeping the lumbar spine towards the mat, we're drawing the knees back up to the center again. On the out breath, we're dropping both knees down to the left and head goes to the right. Good. Again, just breathing through that stretch, trying to get those knees to relax down towards the floor, feet are stacked. And then taking the lumbar spine to the mat, we're going to send to those knees back up again. Good. Again, we're going to drop both knees down to the right. Head goes to the left. Good. And this time we're going to lengthen that left leg over the right knee, toe towards the floor. Just breathing through that stretch. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to stack knees and ankles. Take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up. Good. On the out breath, we're going to take both knees down to the left. Head goes to the right. Lengthening the right leg over the left knee, toe towards the floor. Again, breathing through that stretch. And then stacking knees and ankles and take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up. Good. We'll just place our hands onto our hips here. We're focusing on keeping the knee still. So we're going to drop the left knee open. The right knee stays. In fact, let's place the right hand on the right knee. The right knee stays centered. Try not to let that right knee drop open or follow the left knee. Good. Closing that left knee back up. Take the left hand onto the left knee and we're dropping that right knee open. Good. We can place the right hand onto the inner thigh just to increase that stretch a little bit. Good. Drawing that right knee back up again, and then we're going to drop both knees open out to the side. Bring the soles of the feet together. Place the hand onto the inner thigh. And again, just breathing through that stretch. Think about that neutral spine. Staying down towards the mat, and we're drawing both knees back up together again. Good. So we're floating the left leg up into tabletop, keeping the lowest back down into the mat. I want you to draw circles with that left knee on the ceiling, but make those circles as big as you can. Good. So nice big circles with that knee. What we're doing here is getting the ball and socket, getting the full movement and rotation here through that ball and socket joint. If you feel any discomfort or pain, reduce the circles, and we're changing directions. Good. For 4, make sure the pelvis and the core stay strong and you're not rocking from side to side. 3, for 2, and last one. Good. Back to the center. We'll lower that left foot to the floor as we float the right leg up into tabletop. Good. So we're going to take that right knee up towards the chest, drop it out to the side and into the circle. Good. For 3, as I say, if you feel any discomfort, just make those circles a little bit smaller. And last one. Good. And we're changing directions for 4. And 3. Lock that back down. For 2, make sure there's no rocking from side to side. Last one. Right leg back to tabletop. Hold it there, and we're going to take the left leg up to meet it. Keep that lumbar spine locked down into the mat. We're toe tapping. So we're taking the left toe down towards the floor, keeping the back locked down. Float it back up again. Right leg down. Now, if you're struggling to keep the back down, you can bring your knees over your chest a little bit more. Obviously, that helps. Or you can go back to just one leg. We're going to float both arms up towards the ceiling. And now, as you lower the one leg, we're going to take the opposite arm up above the head. Good. Just making it a little bit harder. Good. Make sure that lower back is staying locked down. Breathing out to lower into center. We're doing one more to each side. Good. Hold it, legs up in tabletop, arms towards the ceiling. We're going to straighten the left leg straight up to the ceiling. Drop the right arm up above the head. Good. And center, straightening the right leg to the ceiling. Take the left arm up above the head. Keep that back locked down. If it feels too much for you, then just go back to toe tapping. Right leg up, left arm up above the head. Now, if you want to progress it a bit more, we're going to take both legs straight up to the ceiling, arms up above the head. But if that feels too much for you, just keep going single legs. Good, arms up above the head, lock the back down. One more, both legs straight up to the ceiling, arms up above the head. Bring the knees into your chest, rocking from side to side and just loosening that back off. Good. Okay, when you've had a nice loosen off, we're going to take both feet back down to the floor, keeping the knees hip distance apart. Place the hands onto the front of the thigh. We're coming into the curl up. If you need to support your head, by all means do. On the in-breath, you're drawing the belly button to spine. On the out-breath, chin to coming up from the breastbone. Slide the hands up the knees and looking through your through the knees. Good. And lower back down again. Deep breath in, draw the belly button spine. On the out breath, chin to the chest. We're curling up from the breastbone. Take hold of the back of your thighs. Squeeze yourselves up a little bit higher. Hands back onto the knees and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, draw the belly button to spine. Remember, we're using the lower abdominals here to curl us up. Hook your hands, bring yourselves a little higher. Hands back onto the knees and lower back down again. Good. 3 more. On the out breath, we're curling up. Draw the belly button to spine. Hook the hands. Squeeze a little higher. Hands back on the knees and lower back down. 2 more. On the out breath, we're coming up. Draw the belly button to spine. Hook the hands. Squeeze higher. Hands back on the knees and lower back down. Last one. On the out breath, we're curling up. Hook the hands. Squeezing higher. Hands back on the knees and lower back down. Good. And we're hugging the knees into your chest and just rocking side to side. Okay, we're going to turn on to our fronts here now. Now, I know some people don't like working on our fronts. The good news is when we're using our ball, so we're going to be doing the same work, but obviously using the ball, it's not as uncomfortable as it is just lying on your front. Okay, so we're coming on to our fronts. The feet are just wider than hip width. Want you to just think, so maybe just have your hands underneath your forehead, and I want you to play with the neutral spine position because this is so important when you're lying on your front. So I want you to imagine you're lifting the front of the hips up away from the mat and then roll the hips down into the mat. Now, as you roll the hips to the mat, you probably feel a little bit of pinching in the back. That's when the back is hollow. And as you lift the front of the hips up away from the mat, you're flattening through the lumbar spine. And it's really important to we want to try and keep the front of the hips lifted so we're nice and flat through that back. So imagining that little pin underneath your belly button, so drawing that belly button up away from the mat. The hands are now to the edges of the mat near your head. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to lengthen through the back of the neck, draw the shoulders down the back. So all we're getting here is some lift up, coming up from our chest, from the mat, and then lengthening through the back of the neck and lower back down again. Good. On the out breath. So the head shouldn't come any higher than the spine. We're keeping the head and the spine in one straight line. Good. And lower back down. Now this time we're going to lift the hands. So we're coming up into our W arm. So deep breath in as we breathe out. Same position, but we're lifting the hands and squeezing the shoulder blades together at your back. Good. And lower back down again. Don't forget your neutral spine position. So flatten through the back. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're lifting the hands up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And lower back down. Good. 2 more times. Deep breath in. Keep flat through the back. Coming up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And lower back down again. Last one now. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, lengthen through the back of the neck, squeezing those shoulder blades together. And lower back down. We're lengthening both arms away from you now. Palms are facing each other. We're going to you're not lifting the hip up. The hip stays down into the mat. And lower. Good. Left arm, right leg. And lower. And right arm, left leg. And lower. Now we're going to try and lift all 4 limbs up. If that's not comfortable, continue with the one we were doing. And we're going to lower. Left arm, right leg. And lift. Right arm, left leg. Good. We're going to do 3 to each side. Keep the belly button lifted away from the mat. Last one, and we're lowering back down to the mat again. Okay. All right, we're going to have bend the left knee. We're going to catch hold of the left leg with the left hand. The right hand is just towards the front of your mat. Okay. So we're going to lift the left knee up off the mat. As we do that, we're going to push up through the right hand, keeping the shoulders down the back. So you're lifting the left knee up and pushing yourselves up, shoulders down the back, just feeling a lovely stretch all through the front. Good, and lower back down again. We're bending the right knee, catch hold of the right ankle. Lift the right leg up and push yourselves up as high as possible, as it feels comfortable. Good. And lower back down. And I just want you to watch me now. I'm going to catch hold of my left ankle and my right ankle. This may not be comfortable for you, in which case I just want you to do the single ones again. We're lifting the knees up and pulling back. So we're pushing the ankles away from us and opening up through the chest. We're only going to do it for about 5 seconds and lower back down. So see how you get on. If it's not comfortable for you to do both, do single again. Lift the knees up, push the legs away so that you're getting the drawing and opening through the chest. 3, 2, 1, come back down, lengthen the legs away. We're going to come back into our child pose. So lifting up, sitting back on your heels, head down into the mat. As I say, when we're working with the ball, slightly easier because you've got the ball to support you a little bit. Well, I say support you, but you're not lying flat on your front. Good, so just stretching off that back. We're going to lift up through the hips if you're sitting on your heels. Lift up through the hips. Walk the hands forward, opening and stretching through the back. Good. Dropping back onto your heels. We're rounding back up. We're just going to come back down to lying on our mats. So when you're ready, just very gently rolling back down to the mat. Arms out to the side. Knees and feet are hip width apart again. And we're going to do the wringing out the washing. So if you remember, we're going to start with rolling the right arm back on the floor, left arm forward. And we're just going to start to get a bit of a rhythm going there. And once you're feeling that rhythm, we're going to turn our head towards the arm that is rolling back. So the one with the shoulder stays down into the mat. And once we've got the rhythm for that, we're going to drop the knees in the opposite direction to the head. So the feet don't stack here. Good. And just keep going. Nice fluid movements. We're just stretching out all those muscles. Loosening off through the back. Good. We're going to do one more time to each side. And the other side. Good. We're coming back to the center again. So we're going to place the left knee onto the right ankle. Draw that right knee up towards your chest. If that's not comfortable, then just push the left knee away from you. But if you can, head down on the floor. Good. So we're pulling that right knee up as high as we can. Chin towards the chest, shoulders down the back. Just breathing through that stretch. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. We're going to change legs now. So we're right ankle onto left knee. We're drawing that left knee up towards your chest. If that's not comfortable, then just push the right knee away. Chin towards the chest, drawing the shoulders down your back. Just breathing through that stretch. And a good stretch across those glute piriformis muscles. 3, 2, 1. Good. Take the left foot down. Keep the right ankle because we're going to cross that right knee now over that left knee. Good. So the left foot is on the floor. The right knee's coming over, arms out towards the side. We're going to take both knees down to the right and the head goes to the left. Good. It's nice and slow with this one. It's quite a strong stretch. Just releasing any tightness through that lower back. 2 and 1. Good. We're going to take both knees back up. We're changing legs here. So left leg over the right. Drop both knees down to the left. Head goes to the right. And again, we're just breathing through that stretch. Nice and slow, not forcing anything here. 3, 2, 1. So centering those knees back up, uncrossing them. So very gently we're going to roll onto our sides and come up to a sitting position. Both legs straight out in front of you. Feet in flexion here. Shoulders down the back. We're hinging forward from the hips. Just reaching over those knees. Again, we're just going to breathe through this. We're going to hold this for 3 breaths. Trying to keep the shoulders down your back on each out breath. I want you to see if you can drop a little bit lower. And on the out breath, coming down a little lower. Last one now. On the out breath, see if you can release those muscles a little bit. And then dropping chin to chest, we're rounding back up. Good, so turning on to all fours. We're going to tuck the toes underneath us, pushing up into the down dog. Take the heels to the floor and the head through to your knees, shoulders down your back. If you can, we're going to lift back up onto our toes again. Flatten the heels to the floor, shoulders down the back. Try and squeeze those shoulder blades together along your back. We're going to soften through the knees, walk the hands back towards your feet, and on the out breath, we're going to round back up, stacking that spine, rolling the shoulders back. Excellent work, everyone.